Hi YouTubers, resellers, and thrifters. My name is Carrie and my channel here on YouTube is Be Carried Away. If you're a new subscriber, I just want to thank you so much for joining my channel. If you're one of my regulars, thank you even more for hanging in there with me, especially over these last few months when I've been teaching and I haven't been putting out as much content. But guess what? The semester's over and I'm gonna get back into my full-time eBay, and I plan to do lots of YouTube. Now, I don't just sell only on eBay. I do sell on Poshmark, Mercari, Facebook Marketplace, a little bit on Depop, and I've recently started on Etsy. And I'm saving the best for last. In this What Sold video, I had an amazing sale on Etsy, so I'm glad I joined, so stay tuned. Okay, these are my absolute favorite videos to make. My sales strategy is that I'm a long tail seller and I look for a high average sale price. I know some people do fast flips with smaller, less expensive items and try to flip lots of them quickly, and I'm really the opposite of that, primarily because I often don't have a lot of time to ship, so I do look for items that are gonna have that higher sales price, higher profit margin, and that's really what gets me excited. I'm sure all of us love to have those sales, but it's just that's also my marketing and business strategy. So let's go right through these sales. I'm going through eBay first, all the way back to my last What Sold video. I'm gonna pull out all of the $35 and up. That's what Courtney uses on Bolo Buddies, but a lot of these are quite significantly higher than that. So the first one is this Cornell wrestling quarter zip sweatshirt. This was new with tags. I found this at the Salvation Army. It was $5.99 and it sold for $40, so it's a no-brainer. An Under Armour men's wrestling and with tags, beautiful condition, that's a no-brainer. Sold for $40. Next is this Franciscan Gourmet Ironstone narrow baking dish. I picked this up at my very first time at the bins, so I don't know how much I paid for this, but it was pretty heavy, so more than a clothing item or something like that. And this sold for $34.99 plus shipping. The buyer was all in for $53.88. Next was this Loungefly Sugar Skull crossbody purse. Now this was faux leather, but this Loungefly brand is really popular. So if you see Loungefly, definitely comp it. This sold for $48.99 and I picked this up at my Salvation Army for just $5.99. So great sale there. Next, this one's a little bit under the $35 mark, but I wanted to talk about this brand because this was a new to me brand and it sold really quickly and it has generally high comps. So if you do see this brand, definitely worth picking it up. It's called Umsteigen, and I need to get my, I think it's Danish maybe, something like that. But this is sustainable organic cotton tee. Very thin, just really pretty print on it. Not really too much to it, but these sell for $64 on the Umsteigen site. So when somebody can come on eBay and get it for $29.99, which is what they paid me for mine, that's a great brand. So I made $30 on it. I paid just $2.99 for this t-shirt. So definitely a brand to keep your eye out for, a new one. Next is one of my favorite brands to pick up. This is called Fresh Produce, and Fresh Produce is one of those summer brands. I think I did a video back last year about really good summer brands to pick up. This is one of them, Fresh Produce. This is the Flamingo Pink Turtle Cove Kylie tee. Now, a lot of these can be looked up. I put almost all the clothing into a really quick Google Lens search. So download Google Lens onto your phone. When you have your pictures taken, I just put it in there really quickly. Sometimes it'll bring up the exact item. So now you have, this is the Flamingo Pink Turtle Cove was the name of the print. Flamingo Pink is the name of the color, and it's the Kylie tee. So I have all the pertinent information, and you can sometimes get the manufacturer's details on the fabric and care and all of that. So it really is helpful, and it just takes a couple of minutes. So this sold for $44.99 and I picked that up for $2.99 at my Salvation Army. Next is one of the Lilly Pulitzer pieces that I recently found. I think just a couple videos back, you'll see me sourcing where I found 12 Lilly Pulitzer items. They've all sold pretty quickly and for a really good profit. So this is the, again, put into Google Lens, get all the information on what this particular jacket is called. It's the Luxe Letic line, and it's called the Justine shirt or quarter zip. It's striped and it's a sun shirt, so UPF 50. This sold for $85. I think I paid $3.99 for this. I'd have to go back in that video and look, but I paid between $3.99 and $5.99 for this. Okay, in the $35 and up, LL Bean. This is a great brand. Anybody can find it really pretty much anywhere around the country. This was just a cotton jumper. This sold for $36.99 and I paid $2 for that. It was $3.99 half price. So great sale there. Okay, next, another new with tags item. Lots of new with tags items get turned into the thrift store. So this is by Brooks Brothers. This was a $90 MSRP, or manufacturer's suggested retail price. I purchased this for $4.99 and I sold it for $42.99, and the buyer was all in for $51.22. Again, a no-brainer. It was merino wool argyle men's, it was a women's sweater vest. Next was this jacket. This is Chico's jacket. I think this was featured on one of Bolo Buddy's What Sold videos for the month of, let's see, this was back at the end of March. So this is a Chico's. Chico's is a good brand to pick up. Certain items, some trendy jackets and things like that. Not all Chico's, but a lot of Chico's has a following and will go well. This is one of those items. This one for $60. So I paid $5.99. This is white lace and denim jean jacket. It was a size 3, which is equivalent to about an XL. And that sold for $60. The buyer was all in for $72.12. Great sale there. Okay. Next, another item that was featured already in my freebie video, these cats, these Victoria Ashley original music porcelain cats, sold for $49.99, and I got those for free. Next, this was a fleece cozy jacket by, the brand is called Mocha by Santa Fe. This was $1. I got this at a garage sale. Now, I don't do a lot of garage sales sometimes. In the interest of time, my thrift store is kind of a honey hole for me. So, but I just happened to stop by this garage sale, $1. It sold for $58.99. It was new with tags, hanging on the clothes rack, and all clothes were $1, and I got some really nice items at that garage sale. So $58.99. Mocha by Santa Fe. Burgundy Sherpa full zip jacket. Next, for $35.99, just squeaking by the $35 mark there, a pair of Dance Goes. These are the Veda Madras red plaid lace-ups. Now, these weren't in the best condition. If they were, I would have got more money for them. But these came from my first trip to the bins. So for $35.99 coming out of the bins, I'm really happy with those. And next, another pair of cowboy boots. I love to pick up men's cowboy boots especially. These are another pair of Dan Post. I had a pair of Dan Post in my last high dollar what solds. I paid, I think I paid $14.99 for these, so I did pay a little bit up, but they sold for $68.99. Buyer all in for $92.55, so good profit there on these Dan Post buck lace Western cowboy boots in deer tan. Next, above the $35 mark, an interesting pair of vintage. I love to sell vintage clothing. These are vintage shoes, vintage slippers. These are Daniel Green, real leather, lambskin, kid skin leather in a bone color, beige. Really large size, women's 13 wide. So great sale. Picked them up for $2 at the Salvation Army, and these sold for $38.99. Next, another no-brainer, a Ralph Lauren leather bag in a beautiful white with gold. This is a shoulder bag or satchel. and this gold hardware was just so pretty. It was in beautiful condition. I picked this up for $5.99 at my Salvation Army, and I sold this for $58.99, plus the buyer was all in for $73.97. Love that sale. Okay, here's one of my favorites. This is a big sale, and it's one of my favorites because I really didn't know this brand at all, but when I was going through the racks, you can just feel really quality fabrics after you've been selling clothing for a long time. And this was a chenille, so really unusual feel of clothing, and it's a long jacket, kind of a Lagen look, or the German layered look. It had this beautiful print of animal petroglyphs, like a Southwest print. And so the brand is called Maud Andrade. When I looked it up, I saw that those comps were amazing, and I listed this at $389. I got an offer for $200, and I took it because I paid $5.99 for this. So I wanted to sell it for that $200 mark. That was a nice profit there. So the keywords on this are Maud Andrade chenille, art to wear. So art to wear is any kind of textile that maybe has been handmade, hand painted, anything artsy that literally is what it sounds like. It's something you're wearing, but it really is a piece of art, just like this. So Maud Andrade is an artist in Santa Fe in the Southwest, and she does t-shirts and things like that now, but at the time she was doing this hand woven chenille with this beautiful pattern in purple. So that sold for $200. The buyer was all in for $229.09. Okay, let's see. So okay, next maybe another brand you might not have heard of. This is Angelo Latrico, and this is an Italian brand. This was a men's size 48 in a light cotton khaki blazer. It was a sport coat, and I paid $4.99 for this and sold it for $48.99. Buyer was all in for $62.55. Next, these Warby Parker glasses. Again, I was able to just Google lens these glasses. The exact glasses came up, so I had all the information I needed. They're called the Burke in tortoise with clear and a square frame. These were from the bins. So the very first time I went to the bins, I picked these up kind of at the last minute. I saw the case, opened it, brand new pair of glasses. It did have the glass in there, so whoever gets them is just gonna have to pop that glass out. I have a brand new pair of really nice frames, and I sold these for $40, and I think I did free shipping on that. Okay, next is a really fun sale. These were 3 pairs of vintage pantyhose or stockings, and they really had kind of racy photos on them with the models, you know, wearing them, really 60s, 70s mod. These type of pantyhose go really well, especially with the unique packaging. They've never been opened, so they're called dead stock or new old stock, store stock. And I bundled these 3 together. So the 3 packages together went for $48.99, and the buyer was all in for $56.58. Next, a really great sale, a pair of Ariat English riding boots. Ariat is a wonderful brand to pick up. These riding boots were higher than usual value because they were real riding boots, and they were just absolutely in beautiful condition. So the brand, the style was called Tall Pro, the Lakeland H20 in Country Brown, and they were a size 7. I picked these up for $7.99, and I sold them for $148.06. Buyer was all in for $172.27. That's my favorite kind of sale right there. Next, an even better sale, maybe, because the item was free. So this was a vintage gorilla, really large, 36-inch plush. I was able to Google Lens this even. Lots of gorillas came up, even some live gorillas. But once I kind of narrowed in on the face, the style of the face, I was able to find it and find out that it was from FAO Schwartz on 5th Avenue in New York City. It's a jumbo stuffed animal, and the gorilla's name is Archie. I sold Archie for $89.99, and the buyer was all in for $126.08. And I just shipped him. I wrapped him up in the fetal position, wrapped him in heavy duty garbage bags, black, you know, it's basically like a poly mailer, and just taped him up really well, and off he went and arrived safely. Okay. Next, another pair of boots. Now these were interesting because there were a bunch of other, I don't really have a lot of resellers in the area where I thrift, but there are a few, and they all happen to be around the shoes. This day, these had just come out in the cart, and everybody kind of looked at these and put them back. And the reason they put them back was that they didn't have a size on them, so these were probably likely custom-made boots. But I have sold custom-made boots in the past, and I knew that I could measure them to size them. And I did, and they sold for $59.99. So I paid $9.99 for those, had a nice profit. The bottom of the boot was called Built Right, and I don't really know exactly who the brand was, but they were custom made, and I was able to figure out that they were about an 11.5B men's distressed custom made cowboy boots. $59.99, buyers all in, $71.89, and was very happy with them. Okay, next is this Fossil bag. I picked this up thrifting, and I think it's in one of my Thrift With Me videos. I think I paid $9.99 for this Fossil pumpkin orange leather bag. Beautiful leather, just gorgeous condition. I love to pick up Fossil as long as you get it at a good price. This sold for $48.99. Buyer was all in for $59.02. Next, a tray. This is an antique vintage tray. I paid 79 cents for this at the Salvation Army. It was Art Deco with this ice skating and pond theme, so this in this aqua color. That sold for $35, and the buyer was all in for $46.59. So from 79 cents to $35, that's a great sale. Next, this is a bundle of 2 items. They're 2 small wallets. Together they went for $67. One was a vintage Coach wallet. It was black, saddle leather, a little tiny clutch. Wasn't really in the best of condition, but it did sell for around $35. I think I have to, $39.99. So that was a great sale for that one. And then the one that the woman also bought was this, I just love this. This is this floral tapestry, a chenille again, vintage wallet in these beautiful colors of just reds and greens and browns, and just gorgeous. Okay, another really great sale. Now I do have photos of when I picked these up because I just couldn't believe that they were on the shelf at my Salvation Army. I paid $7.99 for these Manolo Blahnik. Now, if you don't know Manolo Blahnik shoes, these are the shoes made famous by Sex and the City, Carrie on Sex and the City in particular, who loved her Manolos. So these are a very, very high-end brand. These were authenticated. They were the real deal. These were called the Suede Kitten Heel BBs. They had a pointed toe. They were a blush pink in a size 37. $7.99. I got my full asking price, which was $229.99. The buyer was all in for $256.79. The things you find at the Salvation Army. Next, a pair of Prada black leather pointed toe kitten heel pumps. I forgot to put these in my freebie alert or video where I talk about items that I got for free. I got these for free on a freebie alert pickup, porch pickup. So from free to $68.99. These were a pair of authentic Prada pumps with a kitten heel. The buyer was all in on those for $86.98. Okay, next, another pair of shoes. These are black suede pumps, also with a kitten heel. These are by, Salvatore Ferragamo, another brand worth knowing and worth picking up. Vintage Ferragamos go very well, and these are vintage with a tortoiseshell heel. So they had this lucite tortoiseshell heel, which is really beautiful, on a black suede. I paid $5 for these on an online auction. I did my first ever high bid online auction. I purchased 5 pairs of shoes, and it was a local auction house where I was able to pick these up. And so I got 5 pairs for $25, five a piece, and I sold these for $60. Multiple others of those shoes have also sold. So I definitely made my money back. Next, this is in the category of pick up unusual things and different things, because unusual and different sells. This was a denim pullover, vintage top. I put boho indie because it was very embroidered and fancy. And I also put ethnic because I wasn't sure if this was perhaps some sort of costume almost, in terms of like, you know, a dance or ethnic costume, because of all the embroidery and the way that it looked. I just wasn't sure. I purchased this at the Salvation Army for $6.99, and I sold this for $78.99, and the buyer was all in for $86.89. Okay, next in the $35 and up, this was another no-brainer. This was just a new with tags. I paid $2.50. I got this on half price day. Calvin Klein Extreme Slim Fit. The pattern was red geranium, so it was a really pretty shirt. $35.99, and I paid just $2.50 for that. So buyer was all in for $44.63. Okay, I'm looking for those high dollar sales, so bear with me here. Got some more. Okay, next are a pair of cleats. These are soccer cleats by Puma. I had picked up a bunch of these, maybe 4 pairs, and I paid $4.99 each for these pairs. This one sold for $38.99. These took a very long time to sell, but I just kept the price there. I never dropped it, and eventually spring came around and someone purchased them. So buyer was all in for $51.71. Next, another brand that is a little bit off the radar but is high end, and this is Nanette Lepore, L-E-P-O-R-E. So if you see Nanette Lepore, definitely take a look. Very, very high retail prices, designer stuff. It can be iffy depending on comps for resale. So you do want to look up Nanette Lepore. It's not always just a no-brainer, but absolutely something to look up. So this dress, a coat dress in gray, originally retailed for $399. So on the resale market, it went for $47. So buyer was all in for $54.90. Just absolutely beautiful. It was a soft wool and viscose blend coat, just absolutely gorgeous. Okay, next, another one of my Lilly Pulitzer finds. So again, when you see the price here, you can see why I was so excited to find 12 items. This one went for $110. This was a new without tags. A bunch of the items were, it looked like they might have been store stock that had been dropped off. Also from the Luxe Letic line, and this was the Serena jacket in wave after wave. So Lilly Pulitzer's patterns do have names, just like maybe Vera Bradley does, and you can look them up. They're a little bit harder to find. There aren't like lists of them, so you do have to do a little bit of research, but I was able to find this within just about 5 or 6 minutes doing some Google Lens searching. Found that it was called Wave After Wave. So with all of that information in there, you're more likely to get someone who's looking for that particular style or that particular pattern, and more chances to sell it. So $110, and I think that was either $4.99 or $5.99 to $110. Next, another Lilly Pulitzer. This was one of the Finn tops. And this one had sailboats, sailing theme, long sleeve t-shirt, women's small. I paid $3.99 for this, and I sold this for $60. And I did do free shipping on that because a lot of the other Lilly Pulitzer stuff was free shipping. I very rarely do free shipping, and that's really the only case where I do it, where you have to do it in order to be competitive, because that particular brand or that particular category, a lot of sellers are doing free shipping. Next is this Vera Bradley tote bag. Vera Bradley still sells, people love it. They love their patterns, they love their certain bags. So again, if you can find the pattern name, it's worth the time, I think, that you take to do that. This was just in the fuchsia hot pink, but it was new with tags. And I paid $9.99 for this. It was the microfiber beach travel bag, tote bag, brand new, and paid $10 for that. Sold it for $75. The buyer was all in for $87.93. And Okay, next, another Lily Pulitzer. This was the dress, and the Jane Shift dress, there's a lot of them listed. So this one did go for a little bit less than some of the other items. This went for $55, but again, I think I paid, you know, $5.99. It's in the video, you can kind of see the stickers on it. I'm sorry, the stapled price tag. Buyer was selling for $58.99. This was the Lily Pulitzer Jane Shift dress, and the pattern was called A Peony for Your Thoughts. Okay, next, another brand that's a little bit of an off-brand, maybe you haven't heard of. This is called Patricia Nash. So Patricia Nash bags and accessories, I've sold some belts and things like that, go really well. I paid $2.99 for this. Absolutely, I just loved this absolutely beautiful leather wristlet in a pattern called English Garden. It was a floral wallet. $39.99. Buyer was selling for $47.58. And next, another bag. Now this also was vintage, new with tags. So again, called dead stock or new old store stock. This brand is called Hobo, H-O-B-O. Hobo bags they do have a following. People love their Hobo bags. Here's a really interesting case. This bag sold 3 times. It was returned twice. Just because of the size, it has a very short strap, and so both times, although it was measured, both times it got returned, it was sold for $60 twice, got returned twice. I don't get too worried about returns because the items usually will sell. And in this case, when it sold the third time's the charm, it sold for $68.99. The buyer was selling for $81.01, and so I actually made more money. Okay, a couple of great sales over on Etsy. So I'm new to Etsy, and I do like it. I think people do pay up. There's no bargaining. I didn't send any offers. I just got all these full price sales. So the first was this vintage mid-century modern kitchen cookie jar. I paid $3.99 for this beautiful strawberry kitchen jar, cookie jar. Now there were a lot of these listed. I thought the one I had was really pretty and a little bit different. It was very high end. You could tell that it was just old and it had been stamped made in USA, but I wasn't able to get the manufacturer's name exactly. But I did sell this for $59.99 plus shipping. So from $3.99 to $59.99. Next in the Etsy category, a new tags vintage old V-neck men's sweater. Look how cool this is. It's black, gray, and yellow, definitely vintage, and it still had the tags. So that sold, I paid $3.99 for that, and it sold for $45.99 full price, and buyer paid shipping. Next, this also new with tags, also from the Salvation Army, silk, Ralph Lauren, beautiful, beautiful sweater, cable knit sweater, thin sweater in silk, and that sold for $58.99 plus shipping. Next, this really beautiful swan hat. Now I had this listed, I have these next 2 items I had listed on eBay for quite a long time and really wasn't getting much traction over there, and as soon as I went to Etsy, they both sold. First is this vintage swan hat. This style, it's called, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's cloche, and swan hat, and this beautiful aqua blue, and it sold for $45.99. I paid 99 cents for that hat. Beautiful, great sale, plus shipping. And then the next were these vintage Stuart Weitzman shoes. It really kind of, they look vintage, don't they? They're kind of, work related, a little bit severe kind of, but very professional looking with that, that strap across the front. And I purchased these for $4.99 and sold them for $44.99. Okay guys, this is a great sale. Mike and I were putting in the boat the other day. We're putting it into a slip down here in New Jersey on a lake, only 15 minutes from our house, with lots of restaurants on it and everything. So we're looking forward to that. We've never had the boat down here. So, but I'll always remember, because I was just standing there on the dock and I got that ding from Etsy, and I looked down, I thought, oh, what can it be that's sold over on Etsy? And it was one of the most expensive items I had listed, and it just sold full price, full shipping, the whole 9 yards. This absolutely beautiful dollhouse. I purchased this on Facebook Marketplace for $60. I drove over to the guy's house, picked it up, paid him $60 in cash, and I sold it for $699. The buyer was all in for $812 with shipping. They paid about $97 for shipping. $10 of that was a box that I picked up from UPS. I'm sorry, not UPS, from U-Haul. U-Haul is a great place to get large size boxes inexpensively. I used to, you know, if you can't find them for a dollhouse like this, I really needed something sturdy and I wanted to buy a new box. Sometimes I will try to find them places here and there, recycling centers and things like that, but I really needed something sturdy, and the U-Haul store is a great spot to get boxes. They're really not expensive. So this really large box was called the Shorty Wardrobe box. It fit this perfectly, padded it with lots of large size bubble wrap as well as a blanket, and off it went. So $699. Now, I was told this was made in the 1940s by the man's grandfather who sold it to me, and just was this salt box style with this beautiful wood and the wood door. I had lots of photos of it. It was listed for about a year. It got a lot of views, a lot of people saved it. Just, it's so beautiful, but I really held out for my price. I did get some lowball offers in the $400 range. I held out and I got $700 for this. So really great sale. So there's lots of good stuff out there, guys. Happy thrifting. Thanks so much for watching my video. Please do like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll have more What's Old videos coming up soon. See you soon. Bye.